Welcome back, everybody, to the Baltimore Orioles franchise here on MLB The Show 21. We are in season number 5, and so far it's been a good start to the year. Our Orioles are 13-6, playing pretty good baseball, and overall, I think for the most part, this has been a positive start to the season. That's not to say everybody has played well, because that is definitely not the case, but overall, I think this has been a strong team through really the first month or so of the year. We've got a lot of guys who are really playing well. Adley Rutschman is having a career year. Lenny Lane has been as anticipated, if not better. Louis St. John leads the majors in home runs, but we also have some guys who are struggling. Heston Kjerstad and Carmen Sixto have hit for good power, but their averages are low. Shed Long hasn't really capitalized off of his really good season last year. The bench has been a train wreck. And then as we look at the pitching, Shane Bieber's been a little bit disappointing so far, although I'm not worried about him. He hasn't been bad. Framber Valdez, of course, tore his rotator cuff. He is out for the year. So we have Grayson Rodriguez for now, who will be replacing his spot in the rotation. But I think the big storyline of players who have been surprises, good or bad, is Max Meyer, who is really in his last chance with us. He has struggled in the past in the majors, but through 3 starts, he has been really good. And I know it's a small sample size, but he also pitched really well in spring training. So I'm confident that this is not the case of a small sample size, and more so that at 26 years old, he has finally figured it out. The bullpen's been a little bit up and down, but our top relievers, Gratterall and Diaz, have both been really good. So we're going to simulate up to this game here against Toronto. Shane Bieber versus Walker Buehler, the 2 big free agent pitchers, going to the 2 teams with the best record in the AL last season. We won the first game of the Toronto series 3-1, 7 innings, 1 earned run for Max Meyer, who gets another quality start under his belt, continuing his great season. So let's hop into this one. Game 2 of the first meeting of this season between these 2 rivals, the Orioles and the Blue Jays, who were neck and neck in the AL East throughout all of last season. It needed to go to a Game 163 in which Baltimore won. However, Toronto got their revenge, defeating the Orioles in 4 games in the ALDS. Both of these teams spent quite a bit of money in the offseason. The Orioles added Shane Bieber, the Blue Jays added Walker Buehler, and if you remember in the offseason, Buehler was Baltimore's top target over Shane Bieber, so this is kind of the Baltimore revenge game here against Walker Buehler. Obviously, the Orioles' offense has been great this season, but it's a lot easier said than done going against one of the best pitchers in baseball in Walker Buehler, who, unlike Shane Bieber, has transitioned to his new team flawlessly. Adley Rutschman getting leadoff duties today. This one grounded to short. Challenging throw for Bichette, not in time. An infield single for Adley Rutschman, and a good start here for the Baltimore offense. That'll bring up Ryan Mountcastle, who has continued to have a strong season coming off his MCL tear last June, and he opens up the game with a base hit. So the Orioles start the inning off with a pair of runners on and nobody out, and a great opportunity to get some early runs across. Lenny Lane, the 3-2 pitch, they say he went around. A big call there by the umpire, and Lenny Lane will go down on strikes. The Orioles would not be able to drive either of their runners in. So here is Shane Bieber, his 5th start of the year. He hasn't been bad, and there's no reason to worry, but through 4 starts, he hasn't been perfect. As he faces off against Vladimir Guerrero Jr. with 2 away, lines it to first. Challenging play by Castellanos, tries to get to Bieber in time, and he does. A 1-2-3 inning here for Shane Bieber, who has his hands full against a really good Toronto lineup, who outside of losing Austin Meadows to the Padres, is pretty much the same lineup that it was last season. Heston Kjerstad leaves off the second. Kjerstad has hit for great power this season, but his average has skyrocketed down compared to last year as he goes down on the high fastball. Nice pitch from Buehler. Shed Long, another player who has not been good as he was a year ago, also strikes out again on the high fastball. 1-2-3 inning for Buehler, and outside of that slow start for Buehler, he looks really good in this game. So does Shane Bieber, however. He gets Bo Bichette hitting cleanup now for Toronto on the slider. Bichette and Arozarena pretty much swap spots in the lineup, with Arozarena now hitting leadoff. Springer with 2 away, weakly grounds it to first. Shane Bieber with 2 perfect innings. Walker Buehler with close 2. We were expecting a pitcher's duel when we hopped into this game, and Although it's only been 2 innings, so far we have been treated to a pitcher's duel. Adley Rutschman with 1 away in the 3rd, grounded to short. Bichette botches it. The throw to first did not in time, and Adley Rutschman will reach via the error. So he is on base for a 2nd time today, and we'll see if the Orioles can finally get some runs across. Here's Ryan Mountcastle, 3-1 pitch, looks at the low cutter. That's going to be ball 4, and just like the first inning, Rutschman and Mountcastle are both aboard, and the Orioles have a prime opportunity to drive them in. They did not capitalize last time. We'll see if the Major League's leader in home runs, Louis St. John, can do it here with 2 away as he grounds it to short. Bichette flips it over to Cavan Biggio. And again, the Orioles leave Rutschman and Mountcastle aboard. We'll move on to the bottom half of the inning now. It has still been a perfect start so far for the $150 million man, Shane Bieber, as he faces off against Teoscar Hernandez, who lines this one up the middle. Would have been a base hit had it not been for the shift. The anti-analytic boomers are not going to like that. They're going to call it a fraudulent Mickey Mouse no-hitter now, as the kids would say. There's Danny Jansen going down on the slider. Shane Bieber once again retires the side. He retires the order. And Toronto has not gotten a base runner yet as we go to the 4th. Finally, a base hit. It's Xavier Bowman with a single. That is the first base hit for either team since the 2nd batter of the game, Ryan Mountcastle. Remember in the last inning, Rutschman and Mountcastle were both on, but neither of them had base hits. Rutschman reached on an error. Mountcastle drew a walk. Shedlawn goes down looking on the cutter. He thought that one was low, but it was really right down the middle. So far, so good for Walker Buehler in his first of many starts against the Orioles. Randy Arozarena goes down looking. Another strikeout for Shane Bieber, who has continued to look unbelievable today. With the lights shining bright on these 2-star pitchers, they have both come up big so far. Toronto finally avenges the perfect game. It's a single for Vladimir Guerrero Jr., so Toronto now has a runner aboard with 2 away. A big opportunity for Bo Bichette to finally get the Blue Jays offense going, or fly this one high and pretty shallow into right field, in which it will be caught for the final out of the inning. So we are through 4. Buehler and Bieber are cooking. No runs so far, no extra base hits, believe it or not, only singles in the base hit categories. We go to the 5th inning. Adley Rutschman has reached base twice today, going to try to make it a 3rd time, and he is unsuccessful. Just a dominant game here from Walker Buehler, who isn't really showing signs of slowing down. Now, his pitch count is starting to get a little bit higher. I will say Shane Bieber is definitely winning the pitch count battle, as Ryan Mountcastle lines a single into center field. Mountcastle is really the only player on either team who has hit the ball well. He's 2 for 2 with a pair of singles and a walk. Other than that, nobody offensively has been good for either team. Here's Lenny Lane, 2-2 pitch. It's this one high, kind of deep into center, but not really. That's actually really shallow. And Bichette makes a great grab to end the inning. So, despite Mountcastle getting aboard, another scoreless inning for Buehler as we go to the bottom of the 5th. Rowdy Tellez hits this one high, deep into right field, and it is caught by Heston Kjerstad. Shane Bieber still is only allowed for 1 base runner today, and Tellez is retired. Now we've got Eric Hosmer up. Lines this one nicely into right center field. That looks like it might drop for extra bases. There we go. It took nearly 5 innings, but there's a runner in scoring position now here for Toronto, and a base hit here for Teoscar Hernandez can be able to drive them in. Count is 2-2 for Hernandez. Flies this one into left. Louis St. John chasing after it. Louis St. John is the Gold Glove favorite for left fielders in the American League. Will that hold up? No. But St. John has thrown out like 4 runners this year. For what, like 25 games? That's kind of a lot for someone who is a noodle arm, I've got to say. Speaking of St. John, I hate to be critical of his defense because he's so great at the plate, as he will continue his strong offensive season with a single into right field with nobody out, by the way. So Louis St. John is aboard. As good as he's been power-wise, his contact has also improved quite a bit. Walker Buehler taken out of the game for Trent Thornton. I know this looks puzzling. I probably would not have made this move if I was Toronto, but Buehler's pitch count was in the 90s, so I understand the rationale behind it. First batter Thornton faces is Castellanos, who grounds that one right to second. 4-6-3 double play. The Blue Jays infield has more chemistry than a science project on that one, and the Orioles offense still has nothing going. Bottom 6. It looks like Danny Jansen is up, grounds it to short. The throw from Mountcastle is offline, and not in time. So Toronto has a runner, again with nobody out, and we'll see if this is finally where the scoring can begin. Shed Long actually got injured on that play. It looks like his back might be stiff after diving to the ground. Doesn't look like it'll be a serious injury, but he will be taken out of the game. Marco Luciano will replace him. Luciano will move over to short. Ryan Mountcastle will go over to third. Let's look at that one again. Yeah, Long takes a tough fall, and unfortunately his day will be done 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts. Not really a memorable offensive day for him. As Arozarena goes down looking once again, Shane Bieber still is dominating, and his pitch count isn't really that high, unlike Buehler's, which is why he was taken out of the game. Guerrero grounds out to short. Nice play by Luciano. Through 6 innings, Baltimore, goose egg, Toronto, goose egg. I don't think either of these teams want to score at all today. Marco Luciano here up in the 7th. He has had a rough season at the plate, and that rough start will continue as he goes down looking. Just like last year, Luciano could be in line for a possible AAA demotion. And then Jalen Miller getting a pinch hit at bat here. He will ground out weakly. The first baseman, Rowdy Tellez, tags the bag. Another scoreless frame here for the Orioles, who continue to look poor on offense. But luckily for them, they've still got Shane Bieber on the bump as he walks Bo Bichette. Bieber's starting to pitch a little bit worse. I think this could be his last inning as Rowdy Tellez with one on, hits this one high, deep into left field. That one is gone! 2-run shot for Rowdy Tellez. It took nearly 7 innings, but this game finally has a change in the scoreboard. An Oppo-Poppo home run from Tellez, who hit 2 homers in the game that eliminated the Orioles out of the playoffs last year. And then George Springer will reach on an infield single. Ryan Mountcastle does not hustle to the ball at third base. An infield single for Springer, and things are quickly spiraling downhill for the Orioles. But it's still Shane Bieber on the mound as he strikes out Teoscar Hernandez. Bieber at around 100 pitches, striking out Danny Jansen to get out at the inning. We do finally have runs. A 2-run shot by Tellez, and this will possibly be it for Shane Bieber unless the Orioles want to get crazy and keep him in for the 8th inning. Speaking of pitching changes in the 8th, Toronto will make one as it's Trevor May, who's pitched pretty well in 7 appearances so far with a sub-3 ERA, checking into the ball game as he faces off against Lenny Lane with 2 outs. This one high, deep into center field, and it is caught. Very anticlimactic. The Orioles have now had 8 scoreless innings and are in major danger of getting shut out if they don't get their act together in the 9th inning. Interesting decision here by the Orioles, but Shane Bieber remains in the game. The Orioles clearly trust their ace here as Cavan Biggio with one away hits a single. I think another base runner probably takes him out of this game with his pitch count in the 110, 115 territory, walking Bo Bichette. And yeah, I think the Orioles wanted to go have him pitch the entire game, but even with 2 away, I think it just makes sense to take him out. There's no reason to risk an injury with him being at nearly 120 pitches. Probably Bieber's best performance as an Oriole. He pitched unbelievably well today, but unfortunately, it's probably going to result in a loss with how this offense is played. The lefty Colin Poche will replace him. The Orioles wanted to put in a lefty against Rowdy Tellez, and that proves to do pretty much nothing as Tellez will draw a walk, and the bases are now loaded. A huge opportunity for Springer, who hits this one into right field, and it will be caught by Kjerstad to end the inning. Toronto leaves the bases loaded. They don't score anybody, but the Orioles offense has to get something going now. It's now or never for Baltimore's offense to finally do something here, and it'll be against the closer, Peter Fairbanks, who's a perfect 8 for 8 on save opportunities this season, trying to make it 9 for 9. And long story short, the Orioles offense completely folded. Fairbanks retires to side, 1-2-3 inning, finished off by a line out to left by Heston Kjerstad. And this was a bad loss for our Orioles. I know it's the month of April, and one could argue games in April don't really matter that much, but these guys are our new rivals, and being on the road against them, the pitching matchup of Bieber and Buehler, this was probably our most important game of the season yet, and our offense did not show up. Shane Bieber did show up. I thought he pitched really well outside of a home run. hit by Rowdy Tellez, the only source of runs this entire game. I thought Bieber was fantastic, but unfortunately Walker Buehler also happened to be fantastic, and Toronto's bullpen did not allow a single base hit. I think that's the biggest surprise of this whole thing. I get Walker Buehler playing well, but their bullpen did not allow a single base runner in 4 innings of action. That's not good. That's a bad look for our offense. We're going to simulate another game here. I wanted to play against the defending champion Braves. I also wanted to pitch with Grayson Rodriguez, and we finish out the Toronto series winning 13-7. So after scoring nothing, the very next day we score 13. Baseball is a weird sport. What can I say? So despite losing that game against Toronto, we do win the series, which is nice. And now we face off against the defending champion Atlanta Braves here at home. One could argue the Braves are the NL favorite to make the World Series at this stage in the season, considering they won it last year and their roster is even better. As for Baltimore, one could argue that they're the most talented team in the AFC. So I know it's a little bit early to declare this a possible World Series matchup in April, but I'm going to declare this as a possible World Series matchup in April. Grayson Rodriguez making his second start of the season. He's had an up-and-down career in this organization, but if he pitches well, he's going to have an opportunity to stay in this rotation for a long time. Ozzie Albies gets the infield single, just like the last game against Toronto where Ryan Mountcastle didn't hustle for a ball. He does it again. I'm willing to make excuses for Mountcastle, who's coming off a torn MCL, but come on, dude, you got to hustle for the ball. I don't think he would have torn his MCL had he gone a little bit faster. The Orioles challenged the call, but it definitely looks like Ozzie Albies was safe at first. So the play will stand. It will be ruled as an infield single for Ozzie Albies, and the Braves have an early runner to start off the ballgame. Dansby Swanson grounds this one to short. Miller tries to flip it over to second. Not in time. Everybody is safe. So because Mountcastle didn't hustle for the ball instead of 2 outs, there are no outs. Quite the domino effect there, and now Grayson Rodriguez has to get out of this jam as he strikes out Ronald Acuna. Franmil Reyes is up, he draws a walk, so the bases are now loaded. A huge opportunity for Marcell Ozuna, who hits it right over to Carmen Sixto, who tags the base. Grayson Rodriguez pretty much had to get 5 outs in that inning. And credit to Rodriguez for not allowing a single run to score. Ian Anderson will be starting for Atlanta, his 5th appearance of the year. Hasn't been bad, hasn't been good, just middle of the road, I suppose. Here is Lenny Lang, who has continued to be an unbelievably good acquisition as expected. He hits this one high, awfully deep, into right center field, but definitely not deep enough. It will be caught. 1-2-3 inning there for Ian Anderson as his first inning goes a lot smoother than Grayson Rodriguez's. Top 2, it's Yoan Moncada. Hits this one nicely into right field. Diving effort from Shed Lawn, who did not miss any time with his minor injury, getting the base hit. Moncada headed for second. The throw from Rutschman is way in time. Adley Rutschman, the part-time ball player, full-time sniper. I think it's time to crown Adley Rutschman as the best catcher in baseball. He's won the past 3 AL Silver Sluggers. He's won the past 3 AL Gold Gloves. I mean, he has just been dominant at the catcher position, and he's having a career year this year. I don't know how that's possible. Castellanos leads off the bottom of the second, singling this one nicely into center field for a base hit. So the Orioles get their first base runner on base for Ryan Mountcastle. Full count pitch. It's that one over the head of Freddie Freeman. That'll be a single into right field. So with one away, the Orioles now have a pair of runners on. A huge opportunity for Carmen Sixto, who is hitting 174. Not ideal, and his average is going to go down after that one. Flying out to center, caught by Ronald Acuna. So the Orioles leave 2 aboard. It hasn't been a perfect start for G-Rod or Ian Anderson, but neither of them have allowed any runs yet, and it looks like Rodriguez is getting into a groove as he strikes out Dansby Swanson, now taking on Freddie Freeman. That one was close, but the umpire is going to call it a ball 4, so Freeman is aboard, and that will bring up Ronald Acuna, the 1-2 pitch. See ya! Wouldn't want to be ya as he goes down looking on the fastball. 3 scoreless for Grayson Rodriguez, who looks really good so far. Now we go to the bottom of the third. Adley Rutschman at the plate lines this one into center field. Rutschman is hitting damn near 400 this season with increases with his power as well. It is great to see Rutschman really turning into a superstar, although you could argue he's been a superstar the past couple of years. With 2 away, Lane hits out one of a warning track, but it is caught by Acuna. Another close call, but no cigar. And just like the last game, not a lot of offense. This one tied at 0 through 3. And the offensive drought continues. Marcell Ozuna strikes out. Austin Riley now up. Lines this one to second. Shed Lawn makes the play. And the Orioles get out of the inning. For those of you who like pitchers' duels, I imagine you're enjoying this episode because this has been all about high-level pitching. It has been a joy to see, considering most Orioles games we played this season have been about the bats. Castellanos goes down on the low changeup. He probably should not have swung at that pitch, if we're being brutally honest. That'll bring up Louis St. John now. Crushes this one. Deep. Into right center field. Acuna back at the track, at the wall. It's gone. It took Baltimore nearly 13 innings of in-game action today to score, but they've finally done it. Louis St. John is the first player in the major leagues this season to hit double figures in the home run category, as he is up to 10. It has been so great watching Louis St. John take the leap. Last season was a little bit of a disappointment, particularly the beginning of the season for him, but he has officially turned into a superstar in year 3 of his career. Grayson Rodriguez still cooking as he forces the weak ground out. Atlanta is having a lot of trouble getting base runners of any kind. Ozzie Albies with 2 away hits that one into center. I don't know what Xavier Bowman was doing, but he does make the play, and that is now 5 scoreless for Grayson Rodriguez. If you thought Shane Bieber was pitching well today, look at G-Rod. Here is Ivan Cortez Jr. getting the start at shortstop today. Grounds this one right up the middle. An incredible play by Dansby Swanson, and they got him. What a play by Swanson to get the out. And that's Ivan Cortez Jr., who's really fast as well. Dansby Swanson here in the 6th singles that one into right field. So Swanson is aboard with nobody out. A nice opportunity here for Freddie Freeman, but he strikes out on the slider. And Grayson Rodriguez is still looking dominant as ever, his 5th K of the day. That'll bring up Ronald Acuna. Hits this one into center. Bowman does not make the catch. It deflects off his glove, it looks like. And that will be a double for Ronald Acuna. The Braves have now a pair of runners in scoring position with only 1 out, and a nice opportunity to drive them in. The following batter would be intentionally walked. That is Franmil Reyes. So the bases are now loaded with 1 away. It's Marcell Ozuna who hits that one into right field. Not the only thing Marcell Ozuna has hit recently. I'm sorry, that was an offensive joke, as that one will be caught. However, the runner will score. That is Dansby Swanson, and the Atlanta Braves are finally on the board. They tie it at 1. Austin Riley draws a walk. The bases are again loaded. Rodriguez is at 111 pitches, and he will get Yoan Moncada the line out to left. It will be caught, and that's going to end Grayson Rodriguez's day. Normally, you don't see Oriole pitchers get past 80 or 90 pitches, but we saw both Bieber and Rodriguez over 110 today. That is really rare. Bottom 6, tied at 1. Here's Lenny Lang, who hits this one deep into left center field. That one has a chance. It is gone. A Dinger Lang for Lenny Lang. His 9th of the year. He is 2nd in the major leagues in home runs. And we all know who's first. His teammate, Louis St. John. And from there, Ian Anderson will be taken out of the game. Anderson pitched well today. I give him a lot of credit. And it'll be Kyle Wright, who has been great for Atlanta this season with a 1.65 ERA, checking into the game as he faces off against Nick Castellanos, who hits this one high. And that one will go off the wall in right field. The right fielder also goes off the wall. Castellanos headed for 3rd, and that'll be a triple for Nick Castellanos. And the Orioles have a runner 90 feet away from home with 1 away, and a big opportunity to drive them in. That'll bring up Louis St. John, who went yard in his last at-bat. Count is 3-1 here for LSJ, and he will draw a walk. Good to see some strong discipline there by Louis St. John. If there's one big issue still with his game, it is his lack of walks. So now there's runners on the corners. Unfortunately, there are now 2 outs here for Shed Lawn. 3-2, swing and a miss. And the struggles this year for Shed Lawn continue. Remember, Lawn is an impending free agent in the offseason, so hopefully he picks it up. But I'm not too worried about him. It is April. Amir Garrett is in for Grayson Rodriguez. Garrett has been all right this season, not quite as good as he was a year ago, but still respectable as Alex Jackson singles into right field. So a good start to the inning for Atlanta as they now have a runner aboard with nobody out. That will bring up Ozzie Albies, 2-1. He grounds that one past the glove of Shed Lawn. He should have made that play. Instead, it'll be a single for Albies. Alex Jackson is safe at third. And now the Braves have runners on the corners with nobody out. That'll bring up Dansby Swanson to 3-2. Lines this one past the glove of Carmen Sixto, and we are now tied at 2. An RBI single for Swanson, and it appears these two offenses have finally figured it out now that the two starters are out of the game. Freddie Freeman is up, and this ball is hit hard into right center. It's gone! Freddie Freeman with a 3-run shot, his 8th of the year, which leads the National League. Just a disastrous performance for Amir Garrett, who faces 4 batters, and they all would end up scoring. So Garrett is quickly taken out of the game for Brusdar Graterol, who is a sub-1 ERA, and Graterol gets right to work as he strikes out Ronald Acuna on the slider. That'll bring up the following batter now, Franmil Reyes. 1-1 pitch. Reyes hits this one into right field. So maybe it's not an Amir Garrett problem. Maybe it's just that Grayson Rodriguez was so good that now that he's out of the game, the Braves can finally hit. 2 away for Riley. This one is hit nicely into right, but it will be caught to end the inning. But a disastrous one for the Orioles as they allow 4, led by a 3-run shot by Freddie Freeman. And we go to the bottom of the 7th. 2 away for Bowman. This one is grounded up the middle. Dansby Swanson with another great defensive play. Swanson showing off the leather today at short as he makes the play. Atlanta up 5-2 with 2 innings to go as Brusdar Graterol remains in the game for Baltimore, and that decision pays off. He would retire the side, finished off with an Ozzie Albies ground out to first base. 2 good innings for Graterol, but the Orioles need 2 good innings at the plate if they want to come back. A.J. Minter, who's got a rockin' beard, is in for Atlanta, has an ERA just below 6, hasn't been a great year for him. And Adley Rutschman opens up the inning off with a single, so a strong start for Baltimore. They get a runner aboard with nobody out. Maybe this is where the rally begins. That'll bring up Lenny Lane now, who already has a home run today. Count is full. And Lane crushes it into right. If it's fair, it's gone. And that baby's out of here. Lenny Lane with his 2nd home run of the game, 10th of the year, which ties LSJ for the most in baseball. Lenny Lane does not look like a 39-year-old who cannot play defense. Lenny Lane looks like a robot machine with the way he's been hitting the baseball this season, and it's now 5-4. Louis St. John is up, facing against a lefty. We know he's dominant against lefties. This one is high, might have touched the moon, but it's not deep enough. When that one went off his bat, I thought it was gone. It was really high, but it went down quickly, and the Braves get the out. Will Smith is in the game, by the way, for Atlanta, the Fresh Prince, as he will get Mountcastle to ground out. Another incredible play by Swanson as we move to the bottom of the 9th. Luke Jackson, who is 8 for 9 on saves on the season, trying to add another one. He has an ERA in the 5s. He's not some elite closer. However, the Orioles do have the back end of the lineup up. We'll see if any of these guys can light a spark. And it will not be Carmen Sixto. He flies out to right. So now the Orioles are down to their final out. It'll be Jalen Miller up, who substituted for Ivan Cortez Jr. earlier in the game. And Miller's going to keep it alive, singling into center field. Acuna tries to throw it to Swanson, but the throw is way off. Miller is going to head for second. A costly error by Ronald Acuna Jr., and this changes things. Instead of Miller being on first, he is now in scoring position, and it'll be the rookie Xavier Bowman up to bat, but not for long. The Orioles are going to make a pinch-hitting change. It'll be Heston Kjerstad up. This tells me the Orioles are going for the win. Bowman is more likely to get a base hit than Kjerstad, but Kjerstad has more power with 6 home runs on the season. Count is 2-2. Miller on second. 1-run game. The pitch from Jackson. Swing and a miss. That was not a pitch Kjerstad should have swung at. A low and inside slider. And maybe hindsight tells you the Orioles should have kept Xavier Bowman in the game. 5-4 is your final. A big win here for the defending champs on the road against the Baltimore Orioles. Unfortunate that we went 0-2 in games today, but we hadn't lost a game that I've played yet this season before this episode. So, I mean, it was bound to happen. Ian Anderson, I thought, pitched pretty well for the Braves. Their bullpen was fine. Their offense did enough. We hit the ball better than we did in the Toronto game. Louis St. John went deep, 2 home runs for Lang. And had it not been for Amir Garrett pitching like crap, we would have won. Major shout out to Grayson Rodriguez. Man's pitched the best game of his major league career. We're going to simulate up to this Angel series. They are really good, and I really wanted to play against them. So that's a game against Atlanta, which we would end up losing. So we get swept by the Braves. But then we would win 2 of 3 against Miami, and we would sweep the Seattle Mariners on the road. So entering this series against the 24-7 Los Angeles Angels, we are on a 6-game win streak. The Angels and us have the 3 MVP favorites with Anthony Rendon, who's hitting .420, Lenny Lang, and Mike Trout. This is the Nick Castellanos revenge game. He used to play for the Angels, won an MVP there. And Louis St. John, by the way, is already progressing quite a bit, +3 power against lefties and righties. He is the current favorite for Silver Slugger in the outfield, leading the major leagues in home runs this year with 12. So that's going to end today's episode. Next time, we're going to see the teams with the 2 best records in baseball face off. I think we're going to go all the way up to the draft, which is the start of June, which would likely be the following episode. So I hope everybody enjoyed this one. Make sure to hit the like button. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you are new. Peace out.